In this exclusive front row episode, we have with us George Lama, who is the president of the Eisenhower Global Fellowship, to speak to us on Economy.lk. Pleasure to have you on this platform. Just to talk a bit about leadership and its impact on businesses and what you're seeing. What would you describe as some of the emerging trends in terms of the leadership styles across the countries you visit, across the businesses and business leaders you talk with?
Well, first, thank you very much. I'm delighted to be in Sri Lanka at the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. Leadership is a huge issue all over the world. At a time of great social, economic, and political disruption, I think we see a yearning in all societies, including my country, the United States, for effective and ethical leadership. I have the honor of helping lead Eisenhower Fellowships, which is a 65-year-old it's one of the world's premier international leadership organizations. We're an independent, nonpartisan, nonprofit organization based in Philadelphia that brings outstanding mid-career international leaders from all sectors, from government, business, civil society, science, education, the arts, journalism, to the United States for individualized fellowships, and we send outstanding mid-career American leaders overseas to do the same. The mission is to create a world, enhance international understanding, and create a world more peaceful, prosperous, and just. And the trends we're seeing in leadership over the years, increasingly, leaders come from all sectors, and social entrepreneurs are some of the most effective leaders of social change. It used to be more, perhaps, from government, from ministries, or from corporations, but now we're seeing anybody sitting with a computer and the right imagination and vision can move millions of people. And so that is something that is new, and that we are seeking innovative leaders who have that passion and that commitment to better their world.
You alluded to a bit on the upcoming and the next generation leaders in Sri Lanka as well. We're seeing transitions within family-owned businesses as well as some of the big corporates and maybe some of the big SME, some of the big larger SMEs and things like that. What would you sort of see as maybe the advice in terms of nurturing, grooming these leaders as you see some of them coming even through your program?
So I think one thing that I certainly have learned, I was a journalist most of my career, and one thing I'm seeing increasingly, we live in an incredible time of personal and professional networking. We live at a time in this hyper-connected, uber-networked world. We're seeing that public-private partnerships increasingly are driving innovation, and that multidisciplinary approaches are increasingly the answer to tackle social problems. So one of the things that we set out to do is to provide a platform to connect like-minded leaders, even from different disciplines, to work together on problems, whether it's within a country like Sri Lanka, where many of our Eisenhower Fellows are very dynamic, or outside of other countries, where we connect fellows from different countries.
You also mentioned, I think, Eisenhower Fellows from Sri Lanka, and we've seen a lot of them in the innovation space. Going forward as well, I think you're seeing leadership styles disrupting companies, disrupting industries. How do you see that trend going forward, and what do you specifically see in such leaders that are ready to disrupt not only the industries they're part of, but cross-section of industries, move into other countries, expand? What are some of the...
I think, if I understand your question correctly, I think what we are seeing is an increasing hunger for authentic leadership, for leaders who can have a vision and imbue those around them with a mission to accomplish not only their business objectives, but also the kind of work where if you do well, you also do good. That we're seeing increasingly all over the world, and with millennials, that is a value that is coming to the fore. People want their work to have a greater purpose. And that's really the purpose and the mission of our organization. We build bridges across borders and cultures, and we tear down the walls that divide us. And that's what Eisenhower Fellows do, and that's who we are. And that's an incredibly, I think at this time of great anxiety and disruption around the world, that mission is more relevant and important than ever.
Thank you, George, so much for being on.
Thank you so much for having me.
And stay tuned for further insights and one-on-one analysis and perspectives